Elon Musk sells X to Elon Musk's AI company at 33 billion valuation. Yeah, why do you think that? Well, he wanted X for many reasons, but most especially because, well, you know, the world is like a lab to tech. You're a big petri dish, and X is a big petri dish. And, well, it's all part of creating their super intelligent robots and AI controlling everything. And it goes back to this. Black Forest Labs. Yep. Black Forest Labs is a dynamic team of experts driven by a shared passion for artificial intelligence and cutting-edge technology. The team consists of founders, engineers, researchers dedicated to exploring and developing innovative AI tools and solutions. The collective expertise of Black Forest Labs covers a broad spectrum of AI-related fields, making it a hub of creativity and technical prowess. I think it's so. It's like, oh, artificial creativity. Woohoo! It's artificial. Black Forest Labs, the Anderson Horowitz, I'm sure many who have paid attention know, big tech guy. Anderson Horowitz-backed startup behind the image generation component of xAI's Grok assistant has launched an API in beta and released a new model. The new API provides Black Forest Labs' family of image generation models Flux in a managed package. One of their biggest things is taking text and creating image out of it. What's most interesting is that, yes, it is located, its hub is in Germany. The Black Forest is a forest in southwestern Germany and extends into the neighboring countries of France and Switzerland. And as it's been made aware to me that Europe controls speech here in America. So whatever is Elon doing? Well, I'm sure a ton of people make a ton of excuses for him, always do. Meet Black Forest Labs, the startup powering Elon Musk's unhinged AI image generator. There's two schools of thoughts of this, is that people say that the only way to have a really totally free AI or free system is that you can't have any restrictions on it. Then there's the other side that said that can go crazy. I think both sides are sick and twisted personally, but then we all have been sick and twisted by the technology itself. And this announcing the Flux Pro, yeah, that's how taking words and then turning it into, so they can take any, you can type anything like about Donald Trump and they will create a live image or video of it without, yeah, they totally, so do you see the dangers of that? Very dangerous, very, very dangerous. But this has been around for a long time, very long time. Some of the biggest American corporations that took part in the Holocaust were companies like IBM, IBM being the biggest, Chase Bank, Ford, some others. And you really could thank, you know, well, not thank, I'm being sarcastic, you know, the Holocaust for all the technology and the science that they were doing. I mean, it's what led eventually to this by starting with the holorith machine. What this does is it's a primitive calculating engine and precursor of the modern computer. Developed by the statisticians and census taker Herman Hollerith. It is one of the mechanisms through which the Nazis were able to track the Jewish population and accumulate information regarding the success of the genocide. It is clear that the genocide of the European Jews 1933 to 45 was fundamentally indebted to the use of technology, and that technology was not a peripheral or secondary medium, but an absolutely essential medium for the execution of the so-called final solution of the Jewish problem. Yeah, that's quotes. I mean, anybody who knows anything about the Holocaust, that this was the final solution. Eliminate them all. The Nazi genocide of the Jews of Europe was only possible under technological conditions of modern industrial culture. That just got bigger and more expansive. People being trained in the technology such as punch cards, but always advancing. And of course, we have seen now where technology has truly advanced us. People should know, though, that, in some of these things, people would say, well, it came out of the Holocaust. Yeah, well, so not a lot of good things did come out of the Holocaust, clearly. But there have been people that have looked back to see, considering the scientists were doing so many experiments, was there anything, that came out of this? Well, not really. Biomedical sciences that were useful to the Nazis in carrying out experiments on human subjects that were deemed to be extremely dangerous or painful, still, like that's the biggest thing that was found. They wanted to see how long a body could withstand pain. The most grotesque things, all about racial hygiene, talk about a racial problem. Or the Bureau for Enlightenment, yeah, that's right, that word, that enlightenment word is always dangerous. In my opinion, it is. It's always a red flag to me. Bureau for Enlightenment on Population Policy and Racial Welfare, which under the leadership of Dr. Walter Gross spelled out the practicalities of the racial policy, which was basically eugenics. So people like IBM and all of these companies, they cared more about money than they did human life. I blurred out the eyes, but this will probably, I don't know if this will get taken down, but people should be made to have to see this stuff. Yeah, so these were child victims. There's other photos. I don't, it's not a history people should forget, because it showed the depths of evilness and how money became more important to companies like IBM and many others that don't have a moral compass. I don't care if you hate Jews, you hate whatever you hate. Everyone should hate this shit. You shouldn't have to be a certain color of skin to see how this is a problem. You shouldn't have to fight whether it was real Jews or not real Jews, because either way it was horrendous what was done. And it is the very computer itself, the technology itself, that has been allowed to let that stuff happen, continue it, and be able to enslave a planet while telling you you're free. Hundreds and thousands of concentration camp prisoners across Europe were registered with standard pre-printed paper inmate paper cards called, I can't pronounce that, approved by IBM. IBM was so complicit. The other big corporations that were involved were General Electric, Kodak, MGM, Woolworth, Coca-Cola, Dow Chemical, Ford Motors, Chase Manhattan Bank. Now, to be clear, this machine came out, it's a tabulating machine, it came out in 1890. It's when U.S. Census started getting done. But it played a big role through all those big corporations to exterminate millions of people.